Good morning, everyone. Today we shall take up another chapter on human settlements, chapter 4 of your textbook, India, People and Economy. Now let me present this is the chapter 4 of India, People, Economy, and this is the name of this chapter, Human Settlements. This will be discussed with special reference to India. And so here is a photograph depicting human settlements. Do you find any relationship between physical setting and settlements here? Do you find any relationship between physical environment and human beings here? See, here one river is flowing, and nearby this river, on the bank of this river, houses are constructed, houses are built. So it tells a relation between the human beings and this river, as we discussed earlier. In the previous class, we have already discussed about the factors affecting settlement, especially factors affecting the real settlements. Now again, let us see the meaning of human settlements. Of course, we have learned earlier. Still let us revise. So here the definition of a human settlement is given here. Human settlement means cluster of dwellings of any type or size where human beings live. Human settlement means cluster of dwellings, means cluster of houses. The size of settlement may be of any size, maybe small, medium or big, and settlement type may be of any type, permanent, temporary, or any other type. And for human settlements, we need to erect houses. For any kind of settlement, maybe temporary or permanent, we need to erect houses. We need to construct houses and other structures like roads. Then we need to command some area or territory, as our economic support base. So we need to command some area for agricultural purpose. For our the survival, we need to command some area, maybe for agriculture or any other economic activity. Let us proceed. See here, as mentioned earlier, settlements vary in size and the type. There may be different types of settlement, and the size of the settlement also differs. So the size of settlement ranges from a hamlet to metropolitan cities. The size of settlement may be ranging between a hamlet and metropolitan. So what do you mean by hamlet? Do you have any idea? What do you mean by hamlet? What do you mean by hamlet? See, hamlet we may say this is the smallest unit of a settlement. Okay, this is the smallest unit of a settlement, having around only 10 houses. Okay, and so the size of settlement may be ranging from this hamlet to a big city, okay, to a metropolitan city. And here in the following lines, okay, you'll find the differences between these rural settlements and the urban settlements that we have already discussed. Okay, again we shall discuss here again, okay, the differences between rural and urban settlements. See here, here it gives the definition of village as well as a point of difference. Okay, the sparsely located small settlements are called villages, specializing in agriculture or other primary activities. Sparsely located small settlements, okay, that here in this case the houses are sometimes scattered, okay, size may be small, and specialized, okay, may specialize in agriculture or other primary activities. Whereas on the other hand, okay, for the these urban settlements, so these are larger settlements, okay, and specialize in secondary and tertiary activities. Generally the size of the urban settlements are larger than the rural settlements, and specialize in secondary and tertiary activities. In addition to this point of difference, here some more points are given here. Okay, the basic differences between rural and urban settlements are as follows. Here this is the first point, and see, the rural settlements derive their life support, okay, or basic economic needs from land-based economic activities. For the rural settlements, these people in the rural settlement derive okay, their basic needs, the basic economic needs from the land-based activities, okay, land-based primary activities as mentioned earlier, for example agriculture. Whereas for the urban settlements, okay, so for the urban settlements, they depend on processing of raw materials and manufacturing finished goods, okay, on the one hand, and a variety of services on the other. So for the urban settlement, people are mainly engaged in the processing of raw materials, manufacturing of finished goods, and providing services, okay, just as we discussed earlier. And another point of difference is given here. This is about social relationship, okay. People are less mobile, and therefore social relations among them are intimate. So here rural people, okay, villagers are less mobile, okay, and therefore social relations among them are intimate. Means intimate here means close, okay, their relation is closely associated, and familiarities are there. And where for the urban areas, okay, on the other hand, the way of life is complex. So life in the urban areas are very complex and fast and highly mobile, okay, and the social relations, okay, are formal. So formal means following according to established form, custom, or rule. Okay, the relations are formal in these big cities. Formal means these following or according to established form, okay, or custom or rule. So this is the main point of difference between these urban settlements and rural settlements. Now let me summarize, okay, now let me summarize the differences between the rural settlements and urban settlements. So here you will find three important these bases. You will find three important bases for the making a difference. For making a difference between rural settlements and urban settlements. So here the first basis is occupational structure. Here the differences are met on the basis of occupational structure. Then here the differences are met on the basis of the social conditions, relationship. And another point of these differences or the basis we can give is on the basis of density of population. So on the basis of density of population, we find higher density of population in the urban areas as compared to the rural areas. So this is the third point of difference between the rural areas and the urban areas. And here this point tells the relationship, functional relationship, not the point of difference. The second one is not the point of difference. It tells the functional relationship between the urban and rural settlements. That means rural settlements provide food and raw materials for the city dwellers. And the city people in turn provide services and finished goods to the rural settlements. So there is a functional relationship between the urban settlements and rural settlements, and that is given here. So do you have any question regarding the differences between the urban settlements and rural settlements? Do you have any question regarding the differences between urban settlements and rural settlements? Small houses, what do you mean by small houses? You mean hamlet? Small houses, actually hamlet, this is the smallest unit of settlement. I think you mean this term hamlet. So hamlet, this is the smallest unit of settlement, and in the hamlet there may be only around 10 houses. In the hamlet there may be only around these 10 houses, and we consider hamlet as the smallest unit of settlement, especially rural settlements. Any other question? So let us proceed. Next we have these types of rural settlements. Here in this paragraph we find factors factors and conditions responsible for having different types of rural settlements in India. So how many factors are here mentioned here? 3 factors are mentioned. 3 factors and conditions responsible for having different types of rural settlements in India are mentioned. So these factors include, number 1, we have the physical factors. Physical factors include nature of the terrain. That means a landform. Whether a hilly terrain or a plain area or valley or coastal area. Nature of terrain, altitude, height of the place from the sea level, then climate, hot or dry, rainy, like that. And so whether the climate is harsh or enjoyable, then availability of water. Okay, just you have seen one photograph also. Then the second one is the cultural and ethnic factors. It includes social structure, okay, then caste, religion. Okay, social structure, that about the composition, okay, of the population, race, poor, then caste system is there or not, and religion, okay, is also another important factor. Then the third one is security factors, so defense against thefts and robberies. Okay, it will be discussed later on also. See, in Nagaland, people used to live in groups, okay, just for defense against the these against the thefts, robberies, or against the enemy especially, okay. And accordingly, see, we have these 4 types of rural settlements in India. Okay, rural settlements in India can be broadly put into 4 types. Those are clustered and or agglomerated or nucleated settlement. The second type, semi-cluster or fragmented. The third one, hamleted. Okay, and the last one is dispersed or isolated settlements. So these are the 4 types of rural settlements in India. Now let us find out the important features as well as the meaning of these types of settlements. The first type is cluster settlements. Okay, so let us find out the features. So here, okay, cluster settlements, okay, is a compact or closely built up area of houses. So cluster settlement, okay, is a compact or closely built up area houses. That means in a cluster settlement, the houses are closely built, okay, closely knit together. In a cluster settlement, the houses are closely knit together, very close to each other. This is one feature. Then general living area is distinct and separated from the surrounding farms, barns, and a pasture. So the houses will be grouped in a particular place. See, as you see in this photograph, okay, the houses will be grouped in a particular place, and it may be surrounded, okay, by agricultural fields or barns. Barns, you know, cow shed, or these houses, farmhouses for keeping these fodders or grains, or grasslands, okay, or pasture. Okay, in this case, the houses are grouped in a particular place, and it may be surrounded by these agricultural fields, barns, and a pasture. This is another feature. Then, okay, see, as I told you, this is an example of cluster settlements in northern states. You may be seeing the houses are closely knit together. Another important feature, okay, the houses, okay, the settlement presents some recognizable pattern or geometric shape. So in cluster settlement, okay, the group of houses present some recognizable pattern or geometric shape, such as rectangular, radial, linear, okay, so different patterns may be present. Then such type of cluster settlements we find generally in the fertile alluvial plains, okay, and in the northern states. And see, another feature, people live in compact villages for security or defense reason. Just we discussed earlier, okay, it describes the factors, okay, the factors affecting these cluster settlements. People live in compact villages for security or defense reasons, such as Bundelkhand region of central India and in Nagaland. Just I give you one example. earlier. Okay, in Nagaland, houses are clustered for defense purposes, for defense against the enemies. Likewise in Bundelkhand also for security and defense reason, houses are clustered together. Okay, see, Bundelkhand, you know, this is a geographic and a cultural region in the central India. Okay, so now it mainly covers this Madhya Pradesh. Okay, Madhya Pradesh state. Likewise, okay, some more explanation about the factors in Rajasthan. See, scarcity of water has necessitated compact settlement for maximum utilization of available water resources. In Rajasthan also we find compact settlement. Okay, these to get water. Okay, in Rajasthan, you know, water is obtained from oasis, from a particular point, or from a spring, and that is why people gathered, settled around the water point, and that is why these cluster settlements are found in Rajasthan. Okay, it's given here. See, this is about the physical factor, natural terrain, then climate, the availability of water. Next we have these semi-clustered settlements, another type of human settlements. Let us find out the features. So here, clustering in restricted area of dispersed settlements. Okay, so semi-clustered settlements, okay, are found in the areas where there is restriction. Okay, there is restriction due to mainly a landform. So here, clustering, okay, of the houses in a restricted area of dispersed settlement. So in this case, due to certain factors, maybe because of the terrain, the houses cannot be clustered, or the houses cannot be scattered totally, okay, due to some reasons, and that is why semi-cluster settlements are found. And so it may be also result from segregation or fragmentation of large compact villages. Semi-cluster settlements, okay, maybe result from the segregation or fragmentation of a large compact village. It may be result from the segregation, you know, this fragmentation, okay, dividing into divisions due to certain reasons, maybe because of ethnic factors. Okay, and see here another feature, one or more sections of the village society choose or is forced to live a little away from the main cluster of village. Okay, so in this case, one or more section of the village society choose or is forced to live in a little away from the main cluster of the village. So here, let us say this is the main, okay, the main village. A particular section of people, say for example low caste people, may be forced, okay, to live a little away from the main village, but still there is functional relationship between the two. Okay, so in this way the semi-clustered settlement is occurred mainly due to ethnic factors. Okay, due to ethnic factors, some low caste people may be forced to live a little away from the main village, whereas in the main village there may be these high caste people or rich people may be there. And another feature, generally the land owning and dominant community occupies the central part of the main village. As I mentioned, this main village, okay, see here, this main village, the core village, may be occupied by the this land owning and a dominant community. Okay, and see, people of this lower strata of society, that is low caste people, and manual workers, okay, laborers, settle on the outer flank of the village. So in this case, see here, in the core part, in the central part of the village, it may be occupied by the land owning community or by the rich people. And here in this area, okay, surrounding this main village, there may be houses of these manual workers and low strata of the society, since they are forced to live a little away from the main village. Okay, and this type of settlement is widespread in Rajasthan plain and some parts of Rajasthan. Okay, you will find the semi-cluster settlements in the Gujarat plains and some part of Rajasthan. So do you have any question regarding cluster settlements and semi-cluster settlements? Do you have any question regarding clustered settlement and semi-clustered settlements? So if you are clear, so let me proceed. Okay, now let us have a quick look at the differences between the clustered and semi-clustered settlements. Okay, difference between the clustered and semi-clustered rural settlements. So the first point of difference, clustered settlement is a compact or a closely built up area of houses, whereas semi-clustered is a fragmented settlement. Okay, the first one is a closely built area of houses, and semi-clustered is a fragmented one. Okay, then in clustered settlements, the living area is distinct and separated from the farming areas. As I told you, the houses are built in a particular place, and it may be surrounded by agricultural fields, barns, or these pastures, grasslands. Okay, the settlement areas are distinct from, separated from the farming areas, whereas in the semi-clustered settlement, people live in isolation, along with farming areas. Okay, in the first case, the farming areas are totally separated, whereas in the cluster settlements, people live in isolation along with the farming areas, as given here. Okay, so here it may be surrounded by these fields. Okay, then the former means clustered settlements result in recognizable patterns or geometric shape, like rectangular, linear, radial, square, whereas the latter have hardly any shape. Semi-clustered rural settlements have hardly any shape. They are irregular. They may not take any shape. Then the fourth point, the clustered settlements are largely found in the plain areas, whereas semi-clustered are mainly found in the hilly and the forested areas. Some examples, clustered settlements we find in Bundelkhand region of central India, Nagaland, Rajasthan. Then semi-clustered settlements we find mainly in Gujarat plain and some part of Rajasthan. Okay, so these are the main points of difference between clustered and semi-clustered rural settlements. Do you have any question? Okay, let us proceed. So this is an example of the semi-clustered settlements. So here houses are here, some group of houses are here, another group of houses are here. In between these groups of houses you may find fields, grasslands. Next we have the third type of settlement, that is hamleted settlements. Here actually see in hamleted settlement it is fragmented into several units physically separated from each other bearing a common name. Okay, see, in Hamlet Settlements, the settlement is fragmented into several units physically separated from each other bearing a common name. See, in this case, here there may be some group of houses, okay, and here may be another group of houses. Another group of houses may be here, and it may be connected by footpath or these small roads like this, okay. And so here this is an example of this the Hamlet. Okay, this is an example of a diagram, okay, depicting the Hamlet settlement. See, fragmented into several physical units separated from each other but bearing a common name. So this is one physical unit, and this is another physical unit, that is Hamlet, okay, this is another one. But all these physical units have a common name, okay. So these units have a common name. And here the units, okay, the small units are locally called sometimes Panna, then Para, Pali, Nagla, Dhani, okay. And so in various parts of the country, so this segmentation of a large village is often motivated by social and ethnic factors. So in this case also, the segmentation, okay, the division or partitioning, okay, is motivated by these social and ethnic factors, maybe because of this caste system. See, for example, see, because of the caste system, let us say there is a road, this is a road or a lane, okay, and here some group of houses may be there, and another group of houses may be on this side of the road, and here say here this is another group of people, okay, means having these common ideas or same caste, okay, belonging to the same caste, and this is another group of people belonging to another caste, type of caste, okay. So in this way a lane also may separate, okay, two groups of people in this case. And such type of villages are frequently found in the middle and the lower Ganga plain, then Chhattisgarh and the lower valleys of Himalaya. Okay, Hamlet settlements we find in the eastern part of Uttar Pradesh, then Bihar area, then West Bengal area, okay, middle and lower Ganga plain, then in Chhattisgarh, in the lower valleys of the Himalayas. So this is about Hamlet settlements. Any question regarding Hamlet settlement? Any question regarding Hamlet settlements? Nobody is responding, okay. So, okay, then let us proceed. Which I have to repeat about Hamlet. See this diagram, okay. So here, in the case of Hamlet settlement, some small groups of houses, okay, some houses are grouped together in a particular place. Then a little away from it, another, okay, 2-3 houses may be here, then another may be here, and it may be linked by footpath or by a packed track, okay. However, these groups of houses, okay, hamlets may have a common name, okay, have a common name. Locally, see, is a unit. So this is one physical unit, this is another physical unit, and these physical units are known as Panna, Para, Pali, okay, in different parts of India. But all these physical units, okay, have a common name. okay, have a common village name. Okay, this is about hamleted settlements. Why people are hamleted, why they are segmented like this, mainly because of the ethnic, okay, and the social factor. Mainly in case of India, it is mainly related with the caste system. Okay, because of the caste system, okay, on either side of the street, okay, so say there may be different types of or groups of people. As I told you earlier, see here, this is a gully, okay, this is a lane. So on one side of the road there may be a group of people having a common religion or this a caste system. Another group may be here. Okay, this is also in the case of hamleted settlements. Clear or not? Are you clear? Then let us proceed. The fourth type of settlement is the dispersed settlements. Okay, so here in dispersed settlements, it appears in the form of isolated huts or hamlets or a few huts. Okay, so here in this case the houses are widely apart. So say here, for example, here may be a house, here may be another house, here may be another house. Okay, in this way, scattered, dispersed. Okay, isolated huts or hamlets are there in the dispersed settlements. So these settlements are found in the remote jungles or on the small hills. Okay, with farms or pasture on the slope, just here. So this is an example of dispersed settlement in Nagaland. Okay, so here I think you will be seeing these small houses here on the slope of the mountain, and these houses are widely apart. Okay, not close to each other. It is separated by jungle or this pasture, okay, or field. And here in this case the extreme dispersion of settlement is often caused by extremely fragmented nature of the terrain. So here the dispersion of the houses is mainly caused by the nature of the terrain, okay, fragmented nature, this rugged terrain, okay, and the land resource base of the habitat areas. Say in the areas where the land is not fertile, okay, the land cannot support too many people, and in that case also you may find this fragmented or dispersed settlement. Okay, that is the point mentioned here. And dispersed settlements you will find in Meghalaya, okay, mainly in many areas of Meghalaya, Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, and in Kerala also you will find dispersed settlements. Any question regarding dispersed settlements? Any question regarding dispersed settlements? Okay, then let us proceed. So next we have these urban settlements. Okay, we have already discussed about rural settlements, and now we have these urban settlements. Meaning of urban settlements you have learned earlier. Okay, larger in size and mainly engaged in non-agricultural pursuits. Okay, then here we have evolution of towns in India. Okay, evolution of towns in India, how towns in India were evolved, flourish. Now let us see. Towns flourish since prehistoric times in India. Okay, towns flourish since prehistoric times in India. You have learned in history also, even at the time of Indus Valley civilization, okay, towns like Harappa and Mohenjo-daro were in existence. These you have learned in history classes. In India, towns were flourished, okay, since prehistoric times, and we have examples of this Harappa, Mohenjo-daro. And the following period, okay, has witnessed evolution of towns. so from that time onwards, okay, this we have been witnessing this evolution of towns, and it continued up to continued with periodic ups and downs until the arrival of the Europeans in India in the 18th century. Okay, so evolution of towns, so we witness ups and downs. Sometimes these foreign invasion were there, destroying towns and cities. Again, new towns are built up. Okay, in this way, some ups and downs were there. Okay, until the arrival of the Europeans in India, especially the British in the 18th century. Okay, in this way, these towns in India were evolved since the prehistoric times, and on the basis of their evolution, okay, on the basis of their evolution in different periods, Indian towns may be classified as these ancient towns, then medieval towns, and modern towns. So these are the three types of towns on the basis of evolution. Okay, these are the three types of town on the basis of evolution: ancient, medieval, and modern. Now let us see the definition as well as the features. Ancient towns. Okay, what are ancient towns? So towns having historical background, okay, spanning over 2000 years are known as ancient towns. Towns having historical background spanning over 2000 years are known as ancient towns. Okay, these towns are developed as religious and cultural towns. Ancient towns were developed as religious and cultural centers. So we have examples of ancient towns like Varanasi, then Prayag, it is now known as Allahabad, then Patliputra, now known as Patna, then Madurai. So these are examples of ancient towns. Okay, Varanasi, Allahabad, then Madurai. These are examples of ancient towns. Next, we have medieval towns. Medieval, you know, middle. Okay, middle period. Ancient means old. Here we have this medieval, that is middle period towns. So here, so medieval towns are the towns that have their roots in the medieval period. Okay, so these are the towns that have their roots, that have their origin in the medieval period. And these medieval towns were developed as headquarters of principalities and kingdoms. Okay, most of the medieval towns were developed as headquarters of principalities. Principalities means territory ruled by a prince, you know, in history. Okay, principalities are the territory ruled by a prince, and so these medieval towns were developed as the headquarters of principalities and kingdoms. And these medieval towns are fort towns, okay, which came up on the ruins of ancient towns. So most of the medieval towns are built in the ruins of the ancient towns. Okay, so we have examples of medieval towns like Delhi, Hyderabad, Jaipur, Lucknow, Agra, and Nagpur. Next, we have the third town on the basis of evolution. We have these modern towns. Okay, so the British and the other Europeans have developed these modern towns. Okay, British and the other Europeans developed these number of modern towns in India, and some of the modern towns were developed as trading ports. Okay, some of the towns in India were developed as trading ports by the British. For example, Surat, Daman, Goa, and then Pondicherry. And see, here some of the towns in India were developed by British in their own style. Okay, some of the modern towns were developed in British style. Say for example, Mumbai, formerly known as Bombay, then Chennai, formerly known as Madras, then Kolkata, that is Calcutta. Okay, so these three towns these three towns were developed in British style, and these acted as the nodal points, okay, as the nodal principal points of the British rule. So this is an example of this modern city. And see, these modern towns were established, okay, some of the modern towns were established as administrative centers. Okay, some of the modern towns were established as administrative centers by the British, and some of the hill towns as summer resorts. Okay, some of the towns were established as administrative centers, and some of the towns as hill resorts, okay, for recreation. And say some of the towns, some of the modern towns were developed as these industrial centers, okay. Say for example, Jamshedpur was evolved as industrial towns in 1850, and after independence, okay, after independence, a large number of towns have been developed as administrative headquarters like Chandigarh, Bhubaneswar, Gandhinagar, Dispur, and some of the towns were developed as industrial centers as we discussed earlier. Some of it were developed by British, okay, like Durgapur, Bhilai, Shindri, Barauni, okay, and some of the towns were developed as satellite towns, okay. Do you remember what satellite town is? What is satellite town? Last time we talked about satellite town. Anybody who remember? Yes, anybody?
Small towns residing around the big cities.
Yes. These are smaller municipalities. These are smaller towns that are adjacent to a major city, okay, that we have already talked about it. See, this is here this is the main city, the core city, and here nearby it smaller towns, smaller municipalities may be developed, okay. These are known as satellite towns, and functionally it is linked, okay. Last time when I wrote the satellite town, the spelling was wrong, okay. So this is the real spelling, okay. This is the correct spelling of satellite town. Last time I typed it, okay, like SATTLE like that, so that was a mistake, okay. The correct spelling of satellite town is this one. Yes, you are right. So these are the smaller towns or municipalities that are located to a nearby a major city. And one best example of satellite town is given here, okay. One best example of satellite town is Ghaziabad, Rohtak, Gurugram, around Delhi, okay. Ghaziabad, Rohtak, Gurugram, around Delhi. So this is the best example of satellite towns in India, okay. So any question up to here? Do you have any question regarding this evolution of towns, types of towns? Okay, for today up to here. Thank you very much for joining my class. As usual, please leave your name in the WhatsApp group for attendance. Thank you very much.